Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Tell me where you are joining from. Welcome to our bi-weekly live call. Welcome. Come on in. My name is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. We're all about empowering women and our allies to live life on their own terms and achieve their financial goals. So I do this live call once. I've been trying to do it once a week, but it's been hard. So bi-weekly, I'm going to try to get back to once a week, but I would love for you to tell me where you're joining from. And today we're going to be talking about how to build wealth with multiple streams by picking the right strategy for you. So come on in and tell me where you're joining from. Hello, the Mary Blue. Thank you for being here. And today's topic comes from my most recent book, Clever Girl Millionaire. And we're going to be talking on chapter 3. So I've done my goal with the next few sessions is to go through this entire book and just walk you through the different chapters and key action takeaways that you can get from this book. We talked about chapter 1 and 2, I think, over the last 3 weeks. So they're here on the channel as a replay. But today we're going to be talking about chapter 3, which is defining your pillars of prosperity. And this is how you build wealth with multiple streams by leveraging these pillars. So hello, Alicia from North Carolina. Mary, you are from Maryland. Thank you so much for being here. So before we get started, though, if you haven't already checked out our course platform, definitely check out Clever Girl Finance courses. We have over 30 plus completely free courses and a really awesome community. We have over 40 plus completely free worksheets. There is a ton of engagement on our course platform. Our courses are bite-sized and they're there to motivate you and empower you to do well with your money. So definitely check out the courses. You can find them at clevergirlfinance.com/courses. We also have a bunch of savings challenges on there. The 26-week savings challenge, the $5 savings challenge to really help you get motivated to save more money. Because one thing I've been saying a lot this year to this community is that I want us to be a community that saves more money, that has money in the bank, that feels confident about our financial goals. And that starts with building up that emergency fund, having short-term cash in the bank, and also investing. So I definitely encourage you to check out one of our savings challenges. They are a lot of fun. And again, our community is constantly engaging on there and it is a safe space. So I'm sure you will love being a part of the community as well. Hello, Nanette, welcome. Hello from London. Thanks for being here. Hello, Sadie, welcome. So hello, Diamond from California. Thank you for being here. So like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about how to build wealth with multiple streams, talking from chapter 3 of Clever Girl Millionaire, my new book. I'm so excited about this book. It's been out for about a month now, just 2 days shy of a month. And I have this full face beat because I had a TV show earlier. And shortly after this session, I have another TV show promoting the book. But I'm really excited about this book. I'm so proud of this body of work. And this book is really to empower you to build wealth in a way that is realistic and sustainable and practical, right? And so I just share about my journey to building wealth, how I have become a millionaire. And my goal is to empower you to do the same, but not just empower you, give you actionable steps. So today we're going to be talking about those pillars of prosperity. So in chapter 3, I specifically talk about pillars of prosperity. And what these pillars represent are the ways in which I have built wealth. So I leverage each one of these pillars that we're going to get into to building wealth. And I talk about my strategy as to how I have used them, how they have been applicable for me, seasons in my life when I've had to step back from different pillars. And at the end of the chapter, at the end of every chapter, there are action items that talk to you about or give you basically steps of what you can do to implement what you have learned in the chapter. So chapter 3 just basically is leaning into how to set up these pillars for you to build wealth, leveraging multiple streams. And the multiple streams are the pillars. So let me just check in the comments first. And then, hi, Joyce. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So excited. So I have my notes here on the screen. Oh, before we get into that, before we start talking about, building wealth and the pillars, I want to do a quick check-in on the savings challenge. So how are you guys doing with your savings challenge? So my binder is here. And this is a binder I got from Amazon. It's linked below. The stickers are just random stickers I have from Amazon. They have motivational, faith-based words on them. But I actually took money out of my binder. And for those of you who are not familiar, this is a binder I started with my friend Nikki last year. This is my second binder. And the goal is for us to save our spirit change, money that we would just spend on random things. Basically, go to the ATM, take it out, and put it into this binder. So last time, between April and November of last year, my friend and I, we both saved almost $4,000, about $3,800 each. And right now, I started this binder in December, and I currently have $3,400 in it. Like, I have $3,400 in it, and this is going to be a $10,000 binder because it has 100 slots, and I'm putting $100 in each slot. But I was saying I took money out of this binder because I had to pay some cash-based things, and I didn't go to the ATM, so I took out $800 from the binder. And I was like, well, you're going to come on and do a live, and you have to keep yourself accountable to the audience you're telling to save. So you have to put the money back. So I went to the ATM today and I put the money back, and I put in an extra, I think the last time we met, the binder was at $3,200. I put an extra $200 of spare change because I have not taken my kids out to eat in a couple of weeks. We have been very, very good. I haven't bought them the things they asked me for, and it kind of amounted to $200. So this binder is now at $3,400. I'm so proud. I don't have a timeline as to when I'm going to complete it because, like I said, this is me saving spare change, money I don't spend on my kids, money I save on my grocery bill. I'm being intentional about going to the ATM. But the whole point of this is that you guys have been keeping me accountable because I took the money, I replaced the money I took out of it. And I would love for you to also share your updates, right? But again, as I mentioned earlier, I want us to be a community that saves money. And this is me showing you that I'm doing this with you. Your goal can be whatever you want it to be. It could be spare change like me. It could be starting an emergency savings account. It could be saving for a short-term goal. You could use a binder like this. You can open a dedicated bank account. This binder costs $7. Anita on Team Clever Girl Finance found a binder in the dollar store, a photo album that costs $1. So you basically want to set a goal, set an intention, and start saving. Yes, wow, I can't believe I put that much money in this binder. And I need to remember that I always have to keep this safe so I don't lose it. Sadie, you said that you had to use $200 from the binder to get your car repaired. So the good news about having this binder is that it has served its purpose. If you are using it to build up your emergency savings, it has served its purpose. So now your goal should be to replenish that $200 that you took out of it. So well done having the money in your binder. Thank you, ladies. So it's loving my life. You said, is it spare change after I make a purchase? No. So basically, if I don't buy something, so if my kids want to go to Panera and that Panera would have cost us $25, I would put the $25 in here. It's what I don't do. So if I had a $200 grocery budget, but I only spent $150, I would put that extra $50 in here. If, basically what I was going to spend my money on, that I did not spend it on. That's my approach. You can structure it however makes sense for you. I want this to be unique to you so you actually stick with it, okay? Alicia, you said you have saved $115 in cash and you put it in your Vanguard savings account. Well done. Nanette, you said you've saved $400. Amazing. Rosita, you said that is good. It's also good if you need something, you have the money. Yes, exactly. So again, we want to be a community that's saved. Okay. So if you've had to use it, Diamond, you said you had to use the money, replenish it. Don't feel bad about leveraging money you have saved because at the end of the day, the alternative would be to leverage debt. And then that debt comes with interest. So guess what? You had the money saved, life happened, and then you leveraged it. So the key now is as soon as you pick yourself back up, as soon as you have money coming back in, rebuild. That's the whole point of having a designated savings, like an emergency savings account. For me, when I complete this binder, my goal is to put it in one of my investment accounts. That's my goal, right? And so have a goal for it, but if you do not have an emergency savings account, this is a great way to get started with saving for emergencies. Twyla, you said you were about halfway to your goal. Well done. Okay, so I wanted to do that quick check-in on the binders. The link to my binders is in the description below. It's a $7 binder, the best $7 investment I have made because it's been so worthwhile. But now let's get into building wealth with multiple streams. And this is going to be a very practical session. I find that a lot of people want to build wealth, but they don't know where to start, or they don't have a strategy that fits their life. So you often will hear people say, oh, invest, invest, invest. But what is a structure and a strategy for you to leverage, basically build wealth in a way that suits your life? And like I mentioned, we're talking about chapter 3 from Clever Girl Millionaire. It's called Defining Your Pillars of Prosperity. And what this chapter highlights is that when it comes to building wealth, you're not building wealth from one thing, from, it comes from having a strategy, having a plan, right? Which means, different things, different structures in place, having emergency savings, investing in an employer account, opening up your own brokerage. What other things can you add? Budgeting, opening up your own brokerage, opening up other savings accounts depending on your goals, budgeting accordingly, staying on top of your finances, etc. And so in chapter 3, I break it down in the way that made the most sense for me when I was early on my journey to building wealth. And what I came up with as I was writing the book, and I was like, okay, how am I going to explain to people what I did that allowed me to get to this place? And I leaned into 4 strategies that helped me, and I call them the pillars of prosperity. The first pillar is earned income. The second pillar is investing. The third pillar is real estate. And the fourth pillar is entrepreneurship. Now, these are all pillars that helped me build wealth. However, I didn't use all 4 of them consistently all the time at the same time. A lot of people, leverage these pillars. These are foundational wealth building pillars, and they want to use all 4 of them at the same time. And that's when they start feeling overwhelmed. And so when you're thinking about earned income, investing, and real estate and entrepreneurship, you have to ask yourself, what fits me right now? What fits my life right now? What can I do intentionally, realistically right now? But I will also explain what each of these pillars entail. So the first pillar, which is earned income, this is the pillar where you're exchanging your time for money. You're working at a job, right, where you're getting money, or you have a business running that is paying you money. That is your earned income. And so when you think about each of these pillars, I always ask people, are you maximizing that pillar? So in the earned income pillar, this is the foundational pillar for everything else, because you need money to come in order for you to invest, to save, to budget, to pay down debt. So with this earned income, right, are you maximizing it in the sense that, are you negotiating your pay? Are you asking for a raise? Are you budgeting accordingly so your dollars can go further, right? Are there any skills that you need to get to increase your income? You want to think about maximizing this foundational pillar, because this is the pillar that's going to help you do many other things when it comes to building wealth. It's going to help you leverage the other 3 pillars as well. The second pillar is the investing pillar, and this is the lowest barrier to entry. This is specifically investing in the stock market. And this is you putting your money to work for you, even when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation. Your money is out there invested and doing its work for you. And investing is something that I have leaned into very heavily on my own journey, because it's easy to do. It doesn't require a lot. You can open a brokerage account with $0 and put small amounts. Many employers offer retirement savings and plans that allow you to invest. You can open up your own retirement savings plans through an IRA, traditional or Roth IRA. You could open up your own brokerage account. The key with investing, even if you don't have a lot of money, is doing it consistently over time. No matter how little you have, putting it away over time. And what happens with investing, despite the dips and spikes of the stock market, despite economic situations, history has shown us that the trajectory of the stock market has always been growth, because population is growing, demand is increasing, supply is limited despite short-term situations. So right now in the world, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? Economically, there's wars around the world, so many things are happening that impact the stock market. But long-term, the stock market has been a solid investment. And so that is something that I have leaned into, because compared to other ways to invest, it's easier to do. And so I strongly encourage you that once you have your earned income pillar in place, you're earning money, you're budgeting accordingly, you've put aside your emergency savings, now is the time to start putting your money to work for you, to start investing your money. So in this book also, one of the chapters, I actually talk about exactly how I invest, and I share specifically how I invest in the stock market as well. So That is the investing pillar. The third pillar is real estate. Now, this is not a pillar that everybody needs to do. I have stepped in and out of the real estate pillar. There is a video on here where I talk about my tenant from hell when I thought I wanted to be a landlady and I stepped out, but I've stepped back in, but in a different way. But this is another way to invest and grow wealth. There are many people who have built wealth from real estate, especially when it comes to creating positive cash flow from rental properties or investing as a group or investing in REITs. Again, it has to fit your life. It has to fit your interests, right? But real estate is one that requires more money to invest, and it's not as easy to liquidate, right? And then the final pillar is entrepreneurship, which is basically investing in other people's businesses or starting your own business that allows you to create multiple streams of income beyond what you would get from just exchanging your time for money. So those are the four pillars that have helped me build wealth, and I break them down in specific detail in the book. But I'm going to talk about key actions to implementing these four pillars into your life. And as I mentioned, you don't have to leverage all four right now. Basically, the first fundamental pillar is to make sure you have your earned income in place. After that, pursue the next lowest barrier to entry, which is investing. And for many people, those two pillars are actually enough. However, you may decide that, you know what, I have an interest in real estate, and you might want to pursue that additional pillar. You have an interest in starting your own business or investing in other people's businesses. You may want to pursue that pillar. You may decide that, you know what, I want to pursue having my earned income, investing, and then entrepreneurship, or having my earned income, investing, and real estate, right? And so there are many different ways that you can combine these pillars to build wealth. Or you may decide within the real estate pillar, you don't want to focus on residential property. You want to get into different types of real estate investments, like investing in farmland, investing in commercial property, investing in resorts type of property, for example. So there are many different ways that I break down in the book as to how you can leverage these pillars. And I delve into each of these pillars in more depth, talking about what they are, how they work. But when you're thinking about establishing your own pillars of prosperity, right, the key is to ask yourself, what is going to fit me right now? What fits my lifestyle based on my skills, my interests, right, and my lifestyle? So I've mentioned these four pillars. I'd love for you to share in the comments which one of these pillars makes the most sense for you beyond earned income. Are you investing in the stock market? Are you investing in real estate? Are you pursuing entrepreneurship, or do you find that you're doing too much at the same time and you need to pull back? I would love to know where you are when it comes to your pillars of prosperity. So share in the comments. Joyce, you mentioned that you watched the video of my tenant from hell and it was funny and scary at the same time. Listen, even I was afraid of my tenant. She started out great. Just to summarize for those of you who are not familiar with my tenant experience, she started out great, and then she just became horrible to the neighbors, to me, wasn't paying her rent and was hideous about it, started damaging the property, fighting with everybody. And then when I eventually had to evict her several months later, after giving her tons of grace, she told the judge that it was because she wasn't paying her rent because her father did not teach her the value of $1. And I say in the video, at some point, you have to take ownership and decide, okay, I wasn't taught, but I'm ready to learn. So you can check out that video. It's here on the channel. But yeah, share your pillars with me. What are you doing right now? Alicia, you said you're investing in the stock market, but I'm focused on making more income. That is great. So you're trying to maximize your earned income pillar, and then you can push those, the extra you have into investing. Sadie, you said you want to learn more about investments. Pick up the book, check out our course platform. I believe we have 7 investing courses. They're completely free. They walk you through all the way from the basics up into how to structure your portfolio. And in this book, I share my own personal portfolio and how I have gotten there. Joyce, you said you prefer investing in bonds and stocks. That is great. Loving life, you said tenants damaging the property deters me from being a landlord. Listen, my tenant did so much damage and it cost me so much money. And on the very last day, right, just to show you how terrible, that's why I called the video Tenant from Hell, to show you how terrible she was. On the day that they had her take her things out, she boiled a pot of black coffee and she went around and poured it all over the carpets and threw it all over the walls. This was a tenant from hell. I can laugh about it now. It wasn't funny then. Nanette, you said you're investing in the stock market and also adding on entrepreneurship. So that is a great combination. Loving my life. You said stock investing through work and business. I love that. So thank you for sharing the pillars you're leveraging. And like I said, you don't need to use all pillars at once, but foundationally earned income because you need that money coming in, and then investing in the stock market because it's the lowest barrier to entry. Now, a lot of people feel intimidated by investing, but really, if you are thinking about investing in the stock market or you currently have investments in the stock market, you want to learn the fundamentals of how the stock market works. You don't need to be an expert. I have another book specifically focused on investing in the stock market, and it's called Grow Your Money. Check that out. But I also lean into investing in this book a lot because this, like I said, it has been really key to my wealth building journey. But as you are investing, the foundational thing you want to make sure as you're learning about how investing works, etc., is broad diversification, putting your money in multiple different baskets like an index fund or an ETF, a total stock market index fund. This way, you're not over leveraged into one stock or one investment. Rosita, you said, did I ever have a property management company over your property? So I only ever had two residential rental properties. And at the time I was having my crazy tenant, I thought about getting a property management company involved to support me. However, before I decided to exit that real estate investment era of my life, the property, what I determined was that the property management was going to cost me too much money in terms of the positive cash flow I wanted to have to make the investments worthwhile. So I believe the property management company at the time was charging about 11% of the rent. And so if I paid them 11%, I paid my mortgage, I paid the expenses associated to the house, then my cash flow, my positive cash flow after all of that was much, much lower. And then the investments were not necessarily worthwhile for me. So it depends. I think if you have volume of property or you have a very low mortgage and a higher rent and you have a big gap, then it's easier to afford that property management company. I hope that helps. Okay, so let me see where I was. So you guys have just shared, the pillars that you are leveraging. So now when you're thinking about, so you may be currently investing, right? And you may be saying to yourself, okay, I want to explore more pillars. I want to add on maybe entrepreneurship. I want to do more investing. I want to think about buying a property, right? Or investing in a farmland or investing in, in different types of real estate. The one thing you need to do that's incredibly important as you're thinking about pillars of prosperity, as you're thinking about creating your wealth building strategy, is that your strategy has to match your reality, the reality of your life. So can your income support what you're trying to do? So a very simple example is if you're trying to invest more in the stock market, are you able to stay on top of your bills? Do you have cash in the bank for emergencies? Because the last thing you want to do is to be doing all these investments, but then an emergency happens or life happens and you cannot cover those expenses. And then you have to start cashing out your investments at the wrong time when the market is down or your money is tied into real estate and it takes a long time to liquidate. So you want to look at your reality right now. What makes sense as you are building your wealth building plan, as you're laying out your pillars of prosperity, your income? Do you have enough time to stay on top of what you are investing in, right? And do you have the energy to do the research beyond your earned income and your passive investing to stay on top of what you're investing in? It's very important. So when you think about establishing your pillars, it could be that as you're working through your earned income, right, you have extra money and then you put the extra money to investing, or you have some free time and then you put that free time towards starting your side hustle or pursuing your dreams of entrepreneurship. Or perhaps you're focused on your career right now. You want to lean into your earned income, right? You leverage that career focus, pursuing stronger skills, networking, etc., to now increase your income. So my question to you is, based on what I've just discussed about establishing your plan for your pillars, what is your biggest resource this season? Do you have extra money, right? So if you have extra money, then you want to think about investing more, maybe exploring the other pillars if they're of interest to you. Or do you have extra time? And maybe that time goes into you maximizing your earned income pillar by increasing your skills. Maybe it goes into you starting your side hustle, which is the entrepreneurship pillar. What is your biggest resource in this season? And you can feel free to share in the comments. But I want you to start thinking about that, right? Because when you think about building wealth, it's all about having a strategy. It's not just go to work, make money, invest. It's how can I be doing this strategically so I'm maximizing each pillar? Am I investing in a broadly diversified way? Are there any other opportunities in which I could invest more? Oh, I have an interest in real estate. What do I understand about the real estate market where I live? What is it going to cost me to buy my first investment property? I'm interested in entrepreneurship. Do I have time to commit to researching this business, to getting this business up on its feet, to selling my products and services? You want to be strategic about building wealth, because that is how over time you build wealth and you see the progress. Alicia, you said you have tax preparation skills and time. So maybe that is a side hustle or a business. Hello, Shonda. So glad to have you here. Welcome. So it's just food for thought. Now, again, I will say, let me just find my point here, is nothing changes without action, right? So I'm talking about all these different things, creating wealth building strategies, but nothing changes without action. So you have to be intentional about taking the action to building wealth. And again, as a reminder, you do not need to have all these 4 pillars all at the same time. Like I said, I stepped out of real estate at a certain point in my life because it wasn't working for me. And now I invest in real estate, but in a very different way. It's more commercially focused. It's more group investment focused. I don't have to deal with any tenants or, any of that stuff. So what within each of those categories, within earned income, what kind of work is going to work best for you? In investing, where are you most comfortable investing your money? In real estate, what kind of real estate investments work best for you? In entrepreneurship, what kind of business ideas do you want to pursue that are going to fit into your lifestyle, that are going to work for you? You don't need all 4 right now, but you want to have a strategy for the ones that you do choose to pursue. And based on what you choose to pursue, right, you want to make sure that you can be consistent with the actions you need to take in that pursuit, right? So based on everything I've said, I'd love for you to share in the comments, what is one pillar, based on what I said, what is one pillar of wealth building that you want to commit to focusing on and maximizing this year? Is it earned income? Is it investing? Are you considering real estate? Do you want to start your own business? What is the one pillar? Okay, the next 7 months of 2026, I'm going to really lean in and focus on building out this pillar. Share it in the comments. And also on the flip side of that, what is something that you want to take a break from because it's taking away from your focus, it's taking away from your time, it doesn't fit into your lifestyle? So like I mentioned, I took a break from real estate because it just wasn't working for me. I took a break for several years because my tenant was just hideous. And I was like, I can never deal with this again. So loving my life, you said you want to lean into earned income this year. Alicia, earning more income because after that, others fall into place. Correct. Miss Nija, investing. I love that. Diamond, starting a side hustle. Rosita, entrepreneurship. I love that. So now that you've determined what you want to lean into, the next thing you want to do from here is determine what is the first action step you need to take. Miss Nigel, you said taking a break from entrepreneurship so you can lean into investing. This is how you establish a strategy. You don't need to do something because everybody is doing it or because a book says do it. It has to fit into your life. So Miss Nigel, I love that you said you're taking a break from entrepreneurship so you can lean into investing. That is strategy, wealth building strategy at its finest. So well done. Sadie, you said you want additional earned income. You're studying to pass your notary exam. So what can you be doing to bring in more money? Loving my life, you said you have a real estate license, but good leads are hard to come by. So maybe you can do some research on how do you find those good leads in your market? What are the people? Because I'm sure there are people in your market who are finding those good leads. So maybe research them and their models to get ideas. Ashley, you're leaning into earned income. Really great things you guys are sharing here in the comments. I love it. So, now that I mentioned earlier, I was just mentioning that before I got to the comments, is that now that you've determined what pillar you want to lean into or what pillar you want to step back from, what is one step you can take this week? Today is Wednesday. Between now and Saturday or Sunday, one step you can take to help you start leaning into this pillar that you said you want to lean into. Again, it's about being intentional. It's about creating the strategy, reviewing the strategy, refining the strategy, and then taking action. So, what action are you going to take as part of this wealth building strategy journey this week? Keep that in mind. It's like, don't walk away from here and say, okay, I'm going to work on my investing pillar, my real estate pillar, my entrepreneurship pillar. Don't just say those things. What specific action are you going to take to move forward with that wealth building strategy? So finally, just a reminder, again, I've said this multiple times. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to rush. You just need to start. This idea, and I talk about this, I think we talked about this in chapter 2, dancing to your own financial beat. I'm talking about pillars of building wealth. I'm talking about investing, earning more money, entrepreneurship, real estate. I'm talking about a lot of things here. And you may start to feel overwhelmed. You may start to feel like, oh, am I behind? Am I missing out on something? You are not. Take your time. Take your time to go deep and make sound decisions for yourself. That is important. You don't need to rush. You don't need to do everything. Again, it's about leaning into the resources that you have available to you right now. Do you have the income to support your dream? If not, what can you do to get it? Do you have the time? And are you even interested in this thing, right? Like I said, many people are able to build incredible wealth just by getting their earned income in check to set the foundation and with the investing pillar. So no rush, take your time, but start. Take action. Take action. And then you can check out the rest of the action items in chapter 3 of the book. I talk about here aligning your pillars with your strengths. So based on the pillars that you're interested in, what strengths do you have that can support those pillars? I talk in more depth about evaluating your resources. I talk about how you can pick 1 or 2 pillars to start with. And then I also highlights committing to the next step. So if you're trying to improve your earned income pillar, having a conversation with your boss about your raise, looking for a better paying job, opening a high yield savings account so you can, opening a high yield savings account so you can put more of your earned income away for emergency so that you can lean into the other pillars like investing, real estate, and entrepreneurship in the future. It could be that you're leaning into the investment pillar, so scheduling more time to research and learn about how investing works. It could be that you want to start entrepreneurship. You want to lean into that pillar, so scheduling time to talk to a mentor, drafting out your business idea or your income plan. And again, whatever you decide to do, whatever action you choose to take, keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself with content. Just keep it simple and then take action from there. So that is everything I wanted to talk about today. Alicia, you said you want to finish your tax preparation refresher courses. So schedule the time, right? Because by doing that, it's going to help you lean into that entrepreneurship pillar that we talked about. So that's everything I wanted to talk about today. If you haven't already picked up the book, check out Clever Girl Millionaire. We talked about chapter 3 today. Next week or in 2 weeks, whenever, depending on my schedule to come back, we're going to talk about chapter 4, which is how to set your timeline and intentional focus on your finances once you have established your pillar. So I'm going to talk you through that chapter of the book, and we'll talk through the action items again. I hope you are enjoying this little mini series, kind of like a mini book club kind of thing that we're doing here. And of course, if you're reading the book and you have questions, come with your questions. When you join these sessions, please feel free to ask your questions. And then if you have this book and you have enjoyed it or you're enjoying it, please leave a review wherever you bought it. It helps the algorithm and it helps more people to find this book. Yes, this book is on Amazon and everywhere else you buy your books. It's available as an ebook, an audiobook, and a physical copy. So please support it. Leave a review. Tell other people how much you love it. That would be great. And then definitely stop by to check out our courses. Like I mentioned earlier, we have over 30 plus completely free courses from everything from budgeting, saving, investing, building credit, finding a job, teaching your kids about money. So much great content on here. As well, we also have our savings challenges. So if you're trying to jumpstart your savings, you want to join a savings challenge, we have a bunch of challenges within our course community and an engaged community. And then also, if you haven't already started this savings journey, savings challenge in general that we're doing here on YouTube, join us. I have saved $3,400 to date since December. This is money that I would have just wasted. It would have just slipped through my fingers because it's not money that was tied to long-term goals or investing goals. It was just money that I would spend on random things right? Or extra things at the grocery store that was not on my list, or random things my kids want because they're hungry. So this is, it's a good exercise, it's a good eye opener. And then if you have to leverage the cash that you save, it's there to serve a purpose. So you don't have to get into debt. You don't have to take on interest and all of that kind of stuff. So again, I want us to be a community that saves, a community that has money in the bank, a community that has built financial confidence. So definitely start this saving challenge with us. And then the next time we have a live next week or in 2 weeks, come in and share your updates. Shonda, you said you're going to finish the 2 mini challenges in May. Which ones are you doing? Are you doing the 26-week challenge or the $5 challenge? But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me. Check out our courses. Stop by the website. We have tons of content. And then pick up Clever Girl Millionaire. Okay, I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.